Up next, we also have energy-related presentation, which will be presented by Baatarmunkh, CEO of Newcom Group. Newcom Group has been pioneer in renewable energy, telecommunication, and infrastructure, playing transformative role in Mongolia's private sector. Please welcome.
Hi, good morning, everybody. It's a great honor and privilege to be here. I would like to introduce private sector's perspective why, even as a Mongolian company, wants to bet big time on Mongolian energy sector. So briefly, introduction of our company. We've been operating since 1993. So we've been operating for 32 years. You can see us as an industry pioneer in Mongolia. We've been creating new industries, bringing in new technologies, bringing in new business know-how and innovation into Mongolia, starting with our Mobicom, Mongolia's very first mobile telecommunication company, in partnership with our Japanese partners Sumitomo and KDDI. And now this company is the largest telco operator. Very close competition, but we still have the lead. Since the early 2000s, many people did not believe, especially in Mongolia, of the global warming and climate crisis that we ended up facing. And so we actually started with renewable energy resource assessment in 2004. And in 2013, we started Mongolia's very first wind farm of 50 megawatt scale. And in the in between years of 2005 to 2011, we have ventured into real estate and other sectors as well. Our company's advantage would be we are the most experienced project developer in the energy sector in Mongolia, and we have largest and longest running energy resource assessment running for 21 years, and we do possess over 350,000 hectares of land that's bigger than Rhode Island, actually close to Rhode Island, I should say. So it's a very big land, and it's not even covering that much of Mongolia's land. So that's the tremendous potential we are facing. And we've always been one of the best local partners for our international partners, as well as being a very good policy partner to our government. So we've actually initiated some of the big reforms needed for telecommunication and energy industry. Our portfolio right now is supplying 43% of renewable energy production in Mongolia, starting with clean energy, which is actually the wind farm that you see when you land in Mongolia on the airplane. The second one is in South Gobi. That was in partnership with our partner from Japan, SoftBank. Now it's Toyota Group. And together it's 100 megawatt. And the future project pipeline that we see is over the next 3 years, we're aiming to add another 330 megawatt. In terms of project development, it has been somewhat slow over the last decade or so. But as we just heard, the three-party coalition government has been really pushing hard on developing and restructuring, reforming energy industry. So we are also quite ambitious in our targets in adding 330 megawatt project over the next 3 years and add even more, as you can see, from 2030. As Mr. Jamba has just alluded to, we are looking at exporting to China, which I will elaborate more on later. On the 330 megawatt, what we are seeing from on the ground is something we can do in Mongolia is we can leapfrog a lot of technological and development stages in Mongolia. For example, in the mobile telecommunication, instead of building landlines, we just jumped straight to mobile telecommunication. So that's a very efficient way to develop the country. So similarly, in energy industry, we're looking at the government as well, is distributed energy generation projects. So off-grid and mini-grid projects. That's the area we're going to be focusing on, as well as projects connected to the grid for national development. So I'll touch briefly on overall Mongolian energy sector now. As Mr. Jamba said, we are seeing 8% growth. So we are seeing very rapid growth, and it's a very steady growth. And another thing that's really driving the energy consumption is the rapid development of infrastructure. And especially what I see as very promising is the government's discussion with China on opening additional 2 railway land border ports. So these will drive the mineral export even exponentially. So that will also require more energy. So again, that will come back to more off-grid power generation opportunities. In terms of installed capacity, we are 1.6 gigawatt, and 20% of that is renewable energy. And this is definitely short of our demand, and our import is increasing. But what we do see a lot of good signs in the energy industry, especially as Mr. Dorchan discussed earlier. After last year's election, energy sector has gained a tremendous increase in attention from the government. That started with the tariff being increased to reflect the cost. That had not been done for actually decades, and that had resulted on a lot of pressure on private sector players, especially when it comes to energy curtailment. But that is actually, we're seeing a significant improvement. In fact, this spring we saw 0% curtailment. That's the first time we've seen it. And we do see this trend continuing because we are seeing more and more battery energy storage systems being installed into the grid. That is absorbing a lot of the variable power generation from the renewable. And Mr. Jamba talked about the renewable energy potential in Mongolia. We have 2,600 gigawatt worth of renewable energy just on the wind side. The one thing we need to highlight here is, can we absorb this much renewable energy in Mongolia? No, obviously we cannot, because right now our installed capacity is only 1.6, and this is 2,600 gigawatt. So what are we going to do with all this renewable energy? The big answer is China. China is demanding a lot of renewable energy. Xi Jinping declared that Inner Mongolia is going to become their green industrial hub. So the demand is really absorbing a lot from the northern China side and also deeper into China. And then the reasonable, natural question is, why don't they do it on their own land? Well, two answers. One is our wind resource capacity factor, which is the industry term for efficiency of energy generation, is actually 10% higher than China. Their capacity factor is in their mid-30s, ours is in mid-40s. So that's actually 30% higher than China, the northern Chinese wind resource. Secondly, we have a lot of land that we can use for, not only for mining operation, but also for renewable energy operation. China, they do have a lot of land, but they don't have it in big chunks. They only have it isolated. So that requires a lot of redundant infrastructure building. So when China looks at Mongolian geography, Mongolian resource, it looks really attractive. And similar story on the solar side. Again, a tremendous amount of solar energy, especially in the middle of Mongolia. So going back to China, what we are discussing with a lot of our Chinese partners, some of them are state-owned, some of them are private or listed, what they're saying is not only importing the energy from Mongolia, but actually once you go above, let's say, 2 gigawatt of renewable energy operation, for example, in wind, it's a lot more economical to build the wind turbine manufacturing facility locally. And that's what we heard from our Western partners as well as Chinese partners. And our Chinese partners have voiced multiple times in official engagements that they are willing to work with Mongolia's third neighbors as well. So what we hope as a private sector player is have Mongolia grow to be a neutral economic playground for all parties to work together. So especially on the renewable energy projects upstream supply chain side, I think there's going to be a tremendous opportunity for collaboration. I think Mr. Jamba already talked a lot about the government side, but from private sector side, what I want to highlight is that we do engage with the government very well, very closely through proper channels and proper platforms. One thing that Mr. Jamba mentioned was the Economic Development Board and the Energy Reform Committee, and I am a member of the Economic Development Board, and we do discuss the key issues very openly and with all the ministers sitting together, the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Ministers. So these are the platforms that really bring the private sector and the policymakers together to drive real changes to attract the investment. So this is a new development happening from earlier this year, and it's already showing a lot of progress. And just last Monday, we talked about the energy reform needs, and really looking forward to see the results over the next months. So when it comes to strategy in Mongolia, the government is really committed to renewable energy and its associated supply chain, and that is starting with the opening up of additional border ports with railroads, and energy being a very key agenda. And IFIs have been working with companies like ours on energy projects for many years now, actually more than decades. So that has shown a very good track record in terms of public policy advocacy and investment protection. And another big part is our international relationship. It has been improving significantly, especially with our neighbor, China. And as a private sector player, we have always maintained a very good balance of international partners, whether it's GE or Toyota or SoftBank for Japan, and now a lot with China. So we see a lot of activity into Mongolia when it comes to minerals, renewable energy, and infrastructure. So I'm really looking forward to network with everybody and create a neutral and buzzing economy in Mongolia. Thank you very much.